Hi guys, so today I want to touch on a subject that quite a few people have asked me about as far as question forms, and one of the number one questions I get is it safe to allow your alters on TikTok or media outlets? Can alters identify themselves on TikTok using various filters? Is it safe to separate alters using makeup, wigs, clothes changes, etc.? As you know, in the social media, if you noticed on the news, in various articles, psychologists and the APA and therapists are concerned over the rapid media blow-up of dissociative identity disorder. And some of them are displaying a lot of inappropriate content, sexualizing the disorder, dressing in ways that are not healthy for young viewers. There is also the display of some drug use that isn't healthy for people that have DID to be using. The other issue, as I have stated before, is the amounts of bullying because they want to be verified. And to me, that is not educating on DID whatsoever. This is a problem. This shouldn't be displayed this way. Hence, the subject that I had brought up with the earlier question is, can alters identify themselves using TikTok filters? And, the thing is, I can't say yes and I can't say no, but I also can say, is it healthy? For one, separating your alternative identities by using a filter is actually separating them from healing more with you. Per se, you do have a demonic alter, and that demonic alter is causing huge amounts of issues for you: self-harm, past memories, horrible coping mechanisms. And all of a sudden, putting them on TikTok and giving them a filter, is that going to heal them, or is that going to separate them more? I would definitely talk to your therapist about it and find out if it's something that alter should be doing. Now, the thing is, did I have some alters aware of social media and TikTok? Yes, I did. But most of the percent of the teen alters and child alters had no idea of social media. And a lot of times people say, is it safe to be putting them on social media? Is it safe to be letting them make videos? And for me, it was a no, because they would be very confused. They would have issues with that. And some people do allow their littles to be taped and posted on media outlets. But again, doing that, are we separating them and giving them glamorization and media? You can hear my Pac-Man frog talking in the background. He apparently wants his glam. Can we separate our alternative states by letting them have an identity? Yes, but again, isn't the idea behind healing dissociative identity disorder is to work with that alter? And I'm always going like this to use a depiction to explain that you want to connect with that alter. You want to know their memories and you want to heal. By separating them and giving them glamour, wigs, makeup, separation, filters, all that, if you notice, on a lot of even some of the bigger, higher up people that are in the community, if you notice, they're not getting very far with their healing. And some of them have accounts dating back 4 or 5 years. Excuse me. And so, in a way, is it healthy? Is it helping them? When I first started social media, which wasn't very long ago, only probably about 1.5 years ago, 2 years at most, because I live out in the middle of nowhere. I did most of my research and healing and everything through books, through research, through psychologists, therapists, everything I could learn. And here's the question: am I moving forward because I stick to that criteria? And my therapist highly thinks so. It was strange because when I had gotten on TikTok, it ruined me. I literally was not making progress in therapy, and my therapist noticed it immediately, and she's like, "What are you doing?" And I did. I openly told her, I said, I'm on TikTok. I'm trying to make videos. I'm trying to find a community. I'm trying to connect. And because of that, my healing stopped quickly. I was not making progress because, again, you're separating your alters from you. You're giving them a whole separate identity. And the thing is, it's a disorder. So the idea is to heal from it and make yourself a whole, or live as a team, as a multiticity person. So another thing that I had noticed, which is very interesting, is the fact that when you go on TikTok, you notice that quite a few people seem to post sometimes 3-4 videos a day, and it seems to be a different altar, a different filter to display that altar. And for me personally, I don't know how they do it, because when I have amnesia and I have alternative states take over, it's usually caused by a huge trigger. Something traumatic has happened. I'm in either pain or whatnot. And I'll give you an example. If you notice, I'm kind of leaning forward and I'm leaning on my desk. Excuse me. And the reason for that is just because I had to have surgery, and I had a cyst that's been in my back for about 5 to 6 years removed. And to have that done, I had to plan ahead. I had to plan everything ahead to try not to have a switch. I fight with them. I don't want people to see that. It scares them. So I had planned ahead to make sure that I had somebody with me. And my 20-year-old daughter went with me, and my therapist went with me. And I usually always have my therapist with me, and she's very professional about it, to be there for me when I need a procedure done or I have to see the doctor for something serious. I did pretty well until I had to lay on my side, and I did really well. I kept communicating, but I felt that hot rush, and I knew it was coming. And the thing was, I had already taken medication to keep my anxiety down, but because of the idea of having a needle put into my back, brought back memories of my past ritualistic abuse, where I had needles shoved in my hip. And I thought, I can handle this. I'm in the here and now. But as soon as I was told the needle was like that long, they had to numb it back there to cut the cyst out. I didn't have a problem. I couldn't see it, so I should be fine. And as soon as I felt the pain from the needle, I started bawling. My hot rush went huge. And the only reason I can explain this is because my daughter and my therapist, mostly my daughter, had explained what had happened. And basically, I blanked out. I altered. And of what I was told, I seemed like I was immobile. I wouldn't answer any questions. I wouldn't look at anybody. I wouldn't do anything. I was told I was screaming out. And they kept going because that was the deal. We had to get it done, so that the doctor kept moving. I feel horrible for the doctor, by the way. It had to be so difficult for him to hear me crying and whining. But they got it numbed and they got it taken care of, and I basically laid there in a childlike state. I couldn't move. I couldn't do anything. I was crying. Towards the end, after the surgery was done, I started to come to. It's like waking up, and I kind of thought, oh, what did I do? Because I knew I had left. I knew that feeling when you come back. And I just basically felt really embarrassed. I felt really small, and basically I grabbed a hold of my therapist, and I got through it. But I also noticed my body was reacting as well. I couldn't stop the shaking. I couldn't stop my body temperature from rising. So these are things that people that really do have dissociative identity disorder talk about. There's moments like that you go through them kind of things. So the other thing that I noticed too is the addiction to the platforms. It seems to me, or those that claim to have DID, before you start educating, you should be on a ground level of being able to accept the fact that that platform can shut down anytime. And I've noticed quite a few people, especially on TikTok, where they don't cry over something that they're working on, per se, a healing moment, a triggering moment, talking about what they're dealing with. They cry over losing their money account or cry over losing their platform. And to me, if you're doing that, you shouldn't be on there. You shouldn't be doing that because you're not healthy enough to handle things. The idea is to heal from this. And to be that addicted and hooked onto a social media platform is very unhealthy. And the thing is, I mean, there's people that don't even have mental health disorders that have this addiction, which is, again, being talked about in the news, and a lot of people are researching that it's unhealthy. I believe that, these kind of platforms, if you're making videos daily and they're not really educating or giving a third-party opinion, which is basically or tips on how to heal from the disorder, and it's not based on research, should you be doing it? And I'm trying to display DID like this big community, and it wasn't something that was helping me in any form. And I found out through other people that it wasn't helping them either, and they decided, okay, we're doing the same thing, and now their progress is excelling as well. They're finding that the methods that I use are helping their therapy. I recommend my channel for therapists. The idea is to keep it open, honest, and legit. If you notice, I also do not collect funds to give this information. To me, the learning part of it is healing in itself. The other thing I talk about is loving yourself and loving your altars, even though they can be a very big butt, being a pain in the butt, being in the way. But through therapy, and the right kind of therapy, time heals all. And that's the idea. And so for me, keeping everything honest and legit and not letting my altars separate themselves and make a whole separate social media and platform was probably the best thing that I had ever done. It had progressed me. It is strange how quickly I had gotten off TikTok and I started focusing on what I used to, how quickly my progress become. And the other thing that was driven for me was the fact that, people didn't want me out there. They didn't want the information out there, and they sure as heck don't like me. And you know what? It's not about them liking me or disliking me. It's about keeping it honest and true and working towards methods that are honest and legit. And I still find TikTok to be very, very harmful. I have seen people that I used to work with on TikTok. They were making progress. They were making progress with their therapist. And I kid you not, as soon as they chose fame over healing, they plummeted tremendously. And it saddens me. It really does. I've seen some lose their therapist. I've seen some turn to drugs. I've seen some turn to sexualizing. And it is sad and it hurts me because these were people that I had gotten kind of close to and wanted to help. And they turned it around as soon as they seen the videos of me displayed on TikTok about basically the PSF thing. And they shut down. They chose followers over the healing. And that's fine. That was their choice. However, it makes me wonder how many thousands of people that do actually have it won't heal because of them coming home all excited about making a TikTok and getting followers for something that is uneducational. And don't get me wrong, it's okay to have fun. I don't have a problem with having fun, which was something that was huge on the DID community. Oh, this person's saying you can't have fun. Well, the thing is, I'm not saying you can have fun. That is not why I made the video in the first place. My main issue was the lying. I do not like people that lie. It bothers me very much because my whole life I was taught to be quiet, to lie, so that I could be continually abused. And so anybody that does so, I don't like it, and I will report it. I guess the thing that I can't phantom enough is, if you are watching my videos, I recommend that if you're going to do what I do or educate, is please focus on legit research. Please tell your psychologist or therapist what you're doing so that they can monitor your content and make sure that it's legit and informational. And you know, the thing is, I add my own personal story into things. I'll add videos of things that I like to do for coping mechanisms or things I like to try out for fun. And I don't have a problem with fun. Everybody's body's different. Everybody's abuse is different. So some of us are going to be able to move a little better than others. Some of us are going to be able to understand or read a little better than others. Some of us have, you know, other various symptoms, OCD, autism, ADHD, things like that that come along with this disorder. I have fibromyalgia. I have disability issues. And the thing is, I've been turned down at first to not be able to move on to school. But now, because I found out I am SSDI instead of SSI, that I may be able to further my career and maybe take a class. And they're going to help me do that. And my therapist is going to help me do that. As I'd stated in a previous video, I was very upset because this is something I'm passionate about, but I want to do it honestly and legitly. And so to go to school is something I look forward to because I was told I'm too dumb to do these things. So, you know, in the future, I'm hoping in a future video, if I'm thinking it's called a PVR, I basically got to get approved, and I'll be able to maybe take a class for college. I'm really looking forward to that. And the idea is to keep things honest and legit. So if you are on TikTok, be careful. Let your therapist know. Report videos that have misinformation or are displaying DID in a manner that is inappropriate if they're giving misinformation, because the misinformation is spread so badly now that nobody really knows what is real and isn't real. And I want you to focus on your healing 100%. You know, keep in mind, if your videos are shut down, that's not going to cause a plummet in your healing process. It's like me. If everything shut down tomorrow, I would continue doing what I'm doing. Even if somebody fake claimed me, per se, I made a big YouTubers page and they said, you're fake because you did this. It wouldn't matter to me because I have paperwork this thick, because I've been through all the assessments. That shouldn't matter. The idea is to go, okay, I've been doing videos the wrong way. What do I need to change? That's the idea. So that's all I have today. I hope you found this useful. You're more than welcome to use it in your therapy. And I hope you all have a great day and happy healing for me. Hopefully all goes well with my back, and I'm going to keep plugging along no matter what. Loves. Bye.